where do kids fit in on a homestead? Where do kids fit in on a hobby farm? Where do kids fit in on a ranch? Where do kids fit in a business?
Director of Public Relations or a $2.99
is available only at the
Hey, what's up guys? Welcome to episode 4 of the PVR Rambling Roadtrip Podcast. I'm not sure if I'm saying that the same way every time because I'm just driving and talking and pushing play or pushing record on the dash up there. So 2 things that I tried differently here. Number 1, I put both AirPods in because I started thinking about it and I thought, man, I bet the audio is going to be pretty bad on these. So if the audio is bad, I'm sorry. But again, we're in a discovery phase, so we're just trying some new things out and seeing if they work. Number 2 is I took my sunglasses off. I thought maybe you would like to see my eyes. But then now I'm thinking, I'm looking at the road, and it's really weird if I look at the camera, because then you know I'm not looking at the road. So I really need to look at the road. But if I'm looking at the road, and you're looking at my eyes, and I'm not looking at you, and eye contact is a big thing. So I'm now thinking I should probably put my sunglasses back on. So what I would like to know is if you think I should wear sunglasses, or if I should not wear sunglasses, but look at the road, and then I'm not looking at you. Or maybe you think that I should just risk it and not wear sunglasses and look at the camera instead of looking at the road. So comment below, tell me which one you think is best, or if you have another idea. Maybe you have something else that you would like to see us try, or me try. I don't care. You just let me know. Anyways, I'm gonna put my sunglasses back on because that's my vote. And as of right now, I'm the only one that has a vote because this video has not been uploaded yet. So this is episode number 4 of the Porter Valley Ranch Rambling Road Trip Podcast. And what we're doing is we're driving to St. Louis, Missouri, from Tulsa, Oklahoma, which is 10 hours to pick up some sheep. And on the way, I am answering who, what, when, where, and why at PVR. So where is going to be the question, where do kids fit in? Where do kids fit in on a homestead? Where do kids fit in on a hobby farm? Where do kids fit in on a ranch? Where do kids fit in a business? For us, kids fit into our homestead because we have intentionally put them there. Obviously, we created these kids and we created the homestead, so we hope that it goes together. But Rachel and I have been married for 16 years. We have had kids, Zeke's 12, Kai's 9, Jet is 6. And we do pretty much everything together. I coach the boys in gymnastics. I've coached most of their soccer teams. Rachel coaches them, teaches them in dance. We go to a lot of sporting events where they perform, like they do halftime, the Oklahoma City Thunder games, or the OU, Oklahoma Sooner basketball games, OSU basketball games, things like that. Oral Roberts University just killed it in the tournament. We have danced at ORU basketball games for as long as I can remember. That stuff didn't happen this year because of COVID. But the point is, we do a lot of fun stuff together as a family. So when Rachel and I decided to really kick this homesteading thing into high gear, we were very intentional about making sure that our sons, our boys, were a part of the process and that they are a part of the operation. So the first way that I think, or the first place I think where kids fit in is with responsibility. So I grew up on a farm. I had responsibilities. I had things I was in charge of. A lot of kids have chores, right? You grow up and you give them chores. Those chores just turn into a little bit bigger things sometimes whenever you live on a farm or a ranch. For instance, Zeke is in charge of our chickens. I did not like chickens when we first started this thing. I only recently started to enjoy and appreciate chickens. but Zeke wanted chickens, so Zeke was in charge of the chickens. So Zeke, we got the chickens. We got our first set of chickens from Atwood's. That video is posted on our channel. You're gonna have to go back about 8 months. It's one of our first videos that I went to Atwood's and bought some chicks out of a discount bin that were unmarked. We didn't know what they were because I don't think they knew what they were. So it was like $1 chicken. So I brought some chicks. I bought some chicks, I brought them home, we put them in a cage, and we put them out in the barn. So that shows you how much we knew about chickens. I think they should have been in a brooder. They probably should not have been outside. But we took them, we put them outside, and they actually did pretty well. Luckily, it was warm, it was summer. But Zeke's job was to feed and water the chickens. Now, I don't know how many chickens we have. We have a lot of chickens. We have chickens everywhere now. Zeke has a business called Zeke's Beaks, where he raises silkies and satin showgirl chickens and frizzled silkies and all that kind of stuff. He made his first sale a couple days ago. We finally hatched some out and sold them, so that video is coming very soon. But early on, Zeke was in charge of our small little flock of Atwood's chicks. And one day he decided to be a little bit lazy, and he was filling their water, and he filled it out of the stock tank instead of going inside and getting water out of the sink or out of the faucet. So when he filled the water with the stock tank water, we have now come to find out that stock tank water has bacteria and things in it that chickens can't handle. The goats and horses, they don't care, they're fine. But the chickens literally started dropping like flies. Within 2 hours, every chick we had and a little duck was gone. Gandhi, they all died. So it was a hard day. Zeke was devastated, but he learned a very valuable lesson that there are consequences to his actions or lack of actions. And when it comes to farm life, sometimes consequences mean that things die. When an animal dies and you are responsible for it, you feel terrible. You are distraught, you know it's your fault, and you feel bad because something that was living is now no longer living because of you. So he learned that lesson. He took it pretty hard, and he learned from it, and he has been much more responsible since then because he understands that his responsibilities require him to do them, or there are consequences for those actions. So responsibility is a big thing. All of our kids have something that they have to do on our farm, on our homestead, and they do it. And if they don't do it, either they get in trouble or there's a consequence because of it. And sometimes the consequence is not us getting onto them. Sometimes the consequence is more of a natural thing that happens that they are able to see. It's a tangible result. So I think responsibility on a homestead is extremely valuable when it comes to kids. The second area where I think kids fit in on a homestead or with your hobby farm, whatever you have, is financially. So kids are able to understand financially that the harder you work, the work that you put in turns into revenue. If you have resources that you don't do anything with, they usually don't have a very big return on them. If you take your resources and work hard, then you usually have a bigger return on your investment. So for our kids, we have decided to do something that my parents did with me. My parents gave my brother and I both a cow and a steer, but the steer didn't really turn into anything, we just showed it. But they gave us a cow when we were young, and that cow, as it grew and as it produced offspring, was able to generate revenue for us. So I actually bought my first truck when I was 12 years old. I bought a 1953 Chevy pickup that did not have an engine, and it was covered in rust. But I had enough money to buy it, and my friend Trent and I started sanding it, and we had great aspirations of turning it into something awesome. Well, it didn't work out, didn't turn out, but I did sell it, make a little profit, and eventually I was able to buy my first car, which was a 1974 Ford Bronco. I bought it with my own money. I restored it with my own money. We lifted it and put big tires and all those kinds of things that you do to whenever you're a kid to a really cool car. And I was able to do it with money that I made off of the initial investment that my parents gave me. The cows, as we moved, we didn't have cows anymore, so I bought dogs. I started raising Neapolitan Mastiffs, which are crazy and very dangerous. I do not recommend them. I don't know why my parents let me have them. Mom and Dad, I don't know why we had those in our backyard, but luckily they were worth a lot of money. They were very rare back then, so we sold them, and those were able to fund my college experience and paid for an eventual wedding ring and a honeymoon, and eventually helped us start our own small business. So because of something that my parents gave me at a young age, it was able to turn into a long-term financial benefit for me. So we have decided to do the same thing for our kids. We gave each one of them an ibex last year, and since then those ibex have turned into more. Jet, for instance, he's our 6-year-old. We gave him a ibex nanny named Minnie. He was a big Mickey Mouse fan, and he wanted to name her Mickey, but she was a girl, so we named her Minnie. She gave birth to a little boy, and then a couple weeks after the boy, whose name is JP, was born, she died. We think she ate something poisonous because she was great one day, and the next day she was gone. But Jet was able to take JP and love him and raise him, and now a couple of weeks ago he sold him. So Jet, at 6 years old, sold an ibex for $700, and he was able to take that $700, which he has no concept of money, but he took that $700 and reinvested it into a Harlequin sheep. So he now owns a sheep, a little ewe, which will be able to breed and have other babies so that he can make money. He can have his own small business. So at 6 years old, he is essentially a small business owner. So teaching kids about money through livestock is something that is really cool. Zeke was able to buy some chickens. They started laying eggs. He hatched the eggs in incubators, and now he's able to sell those chicks. So he is learning how to do those things also. There's also a very important lesson when it comes to animals and kids, and that is that instant gratification is not always the best method. For instance, whenever we gave Kai, a sheep, he could have turned around instantly and sold that sheep and made a lot of money. But if he held on to it, and it got bred and it had a baby, then he could sell the baby or babies, and he still has his original investment, which can keep having babies, which keeps generating revenue for years to come. A lot of times in America, kids do not understand patience. Neither do we as grown-ups. But instant gratification is something they don't understand. We don't force on them very often. Savings is pretty much a thing of the past for most people in America today. But learning through livestock is a way that we're able to teach our kids responsibility. We're able to teach them finances. We're able to teach them how to be small business owners so that they can control their own financial future. And who knows? I mean, some of them are pretty young, and there's no telling where this journey can take them in the future if they continue on it. So it's something that we are very fortunate to be able to do because we have land, because we have a farm and a homestead that we can do that on. And that is something that Rachel and I are exploring. We feel like God has put it on our heart to expand that idea, to continue perfecting and teaching and sharing that idea with others. So that is something that we're looking at doing in the future. If that sounds like something that you would be interested in, then let us know. Comment below or send us an email. It's something that we think has value. We think something that we think is very unique, and we think that we are supposed to find ways to communicate that to others. And if you would like to be a part of that, then let us know. If you think it's a good idea, let us know. If you think it's horrible, let us know. We don't know unless you tell us. So tell us what's up. In the meantime, I'm going to keep driving. I'm about 4 hours from home now, which means I've been on the road for over 6 hours. So this was episode 4 of the Road Trip Rambling Podcast. I've got one more. I'm obviously getting a little tired. But one more podcast, and then if these go well, then maybe we'll try it again on the next road trip, because it's just a matter of time before Rachel sends me somewhere else in the United States to pick something else up. I don't know what it's going to be. I don't know where it's going to be, but I know I'll be there. And I hope you'll be there too. So thanks for watching. Let me know what you think. Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, notify, do all the things that you do, share it, whatever. And let me know. We will see you on the next video.